not fighting those off alone.
Still standing. That's... Oh. Inquisitor. Still finding it difficult to breathe, but I'm not strewn across the landscape, so thank you. I'm Colette, Professor Kenrick's research assistant. I was hoping to conduct a survey of a Tevinter ruin in the hills. I may not have chosen the best route.
You're Kenrick's research assistant, so that makes you a student at the University of Orlais.
It does? Why?
If I've said something wrong...
I'm sorry. That's usually asked with skepticism. The university worthy of admission, though elven students are few.
How do you find it there?
It's not easy, but this is what I want. And I like working for Professor Kenrick. Elven research students, where publications concerned, their work's often deemed not substantial enough for formal credit. But Kenrick cares about people who want to learn. If our research finds an audience, I know my name will be included.
What were you hoping to find at the ruin?
The Tevinter's time here was brief, but their architecture endured, offering shelter, forming landmarks. Ancient Avar would have encountered these structures, which certainly predate Inquisitor Emeridan. Evaluating the ruins could offer insight into the region's history, once I can get set up.
You're still going there?
I've read everything we have on Emeridan, and studied up on new excavation techniques. I won't waste this opportunity. If you've a map, I can show you my destination, if you'd be interested in the findings.
Stay safe.
I will.
Someone fought something big here. It could be that bear the Avar are looking for. If the bear isn't dead, it has to be nearby. You know, I'll bet I could do that.
The lowlands have traced the sacrifice! Jaws of Hakkon! Destroy them! Back me up!
Poaching? Can't be. Goat-kissing, blood-drinking, Hakkonite chicken crabs! Thank you, Inquisitor. Storvacker has returned. My hunters saw what you and she did to the Hakkonites who held her. In trapping Storvacker, the jaws of Hakkon broke their peace oath with Stonebear Hold. Our blades are yours.
We welcome the help.
More than you know, Inquisitor. My hunters brought items back from where they held Storvacker. I know what they intended. It is not something you will like. Something few Avar would tell Lowlanders. But you must hear it. The jaws of Hakkon sought to bind their god in mortal form and bring war to the Lowlands.
By saving your bear, have we put an end to their plans?
Though you have given them pause, they will try again. Ages ago, the old jaws of Hakkon did the same. They brought their god to life to destroy the Lowlands. Their foolishness lost Hakkon to all Avar. Now they would free him and begin again.
What did you mean when you said that their foolishness lost Hakkon to all Avar?
When they bound Hakkon to mortal form, he became blood of this world. He could hear no prayers, nor speak to the augurs. All he could do was kill. Then he vanished instead of dying.
as though rendered mute, lost for ages. If they sought to free him from mortal form, I could understand. Making him attack the lowlands is a fool's work.
The Avar wouldn't like the idea of war with the lowlands.
Is that what your skulls say? It does us no harm to be feared. If our land is threatened, we will happily fight. And a raid here and there keeps both sides sharp. But we have no need of your lowlands. Not when our goats are fat and our fish are plenty. And not when the sky is torn with demons. Only a fool fights in a burning boat.
What would happen if the Jaws of Hakkon succeeded in their plan?
Hakkon would come to the lowlands in the form of a great beast. The Hakkonites would join him, their numbers swelled by foolish young warriors dreaming of honor names. Even if war were needed, it should not be like that. With gods wreaking havoc in blood-soaked fields, the gods should stay where they belong.
You said that the Jaws of Hakkon first tried binding their god in mortal form hundreds of years ago.
What of it?
In our search for Inquisitor Emeridon, we learned that he came here to fight a great dragon 800 years ago. A dragon that came from the mountains with Avar warriors to attack the lowlands.
Your last Inquisitor must have fought well to stop Hakkon himself.
You're not bothered by the idea that our Inquisitor killed your god?
He didn't kill him. That would have been easier. Whatever fight your Inquisitor finished, the Jaws of Hakkon started. I find no fault with a warrior defending his people.
Do the Avar gods take mortal form on a regular basis?
No, the gods belong in the land of dreams. Whether it is their wish or some augurs that brings them here, battle tears will be shed. The skulls say the Lady of the Skies took mortal form when Tyrd of Brightaxe first led the Avar to the mountains. They say many things about Brightaxe and the Lady.
Based on what we know, what must we do to stop the Jaws of Hakkon?
Their hold is an old lowlander fortress. It is shielded by a great wall of ice. Magic even the Hakkonites do not know. Unravel its magic, and we will scatter their bones so the Lady never finds them.
We still need a way to melt the wall of ice around the Hakkonites' fortress. Do you have any ideas?
No. It is lowlander magic and nothing to do with us. Our spirit talkers are useless as battle goats. The Hakkonites must have found the magic in the old fortress. Speak to your people. Perhaps they will know more.
I'll speak with you later.
Walk with the Lady's blessing.
The ancient Imperium did like to leave a mark. I wonder how long they stayed.
Is this where Kenrick's assistant was headed?
Inquisitor? You may want to see this. Inquisitor! I was going to send word. I found something. This inscription, almost completely faded, but... two stood. Felt 60 true before our triumph. A breath in the hunt, and let rest the lowlanders. worthy of the lady's care. The markings and surrounding artifacts date to Emeriden's time. The references and scripts suggest Avar.
Another time, Colette.
Oh, yes, Inquisitor. This is remarkable.
What have you found?
I need to complete a full survey and have Professor Kenrick evaluate the site himself. But this may be a tribute to Heron and Orina, Inquisitor Emeriden's companions.
What makes you think the inscription refers to Heron and Orina?
It's only a theory, but the age of the markings and surrounding artifacts match the timeline we've established for Emeriden. We know that Emeriden and his companions came into violent contact with the Avar. I found glass fragments in the clay, several with slight veins of discoloration. Blue. Like Templar artifacts.
Templars?
The Templars were a new order in Emeriden's time. Given their small numbers then, few would be found outside the Chantry's reach. It's unusual to find one deep in uncharted territory, unless he traveled here for a purpose, as Heron would have.
What happened here?
Emeriden and his companions fought the original Jaws of Hakkon. They were outnumbered, but Emeriden had a sworn duty. Could Emeriden and Telana be skilled enough to slip past the Jaws of Hakkon? What if someone had to buy them time?
If this is the resting place of Heron and Orina, it only remains because the Avar took time to honor them.
Respect for a worthy adversary? It wouldn't be out of place.
What do you know about Heron?
When the Templar Order was first formed, Sir Heron was among its members. He's arguably the most famous of the original Templars, though he was never one of their leaders. He's better known as one of Inquisitor Emeriden's confidants. They'd known each other since youth.
So they were close. Friends.
When Emeriden was made Inquisitor, Heron's position in his inner circle was assumed. A few ballads about them survive. The type with adventures and happy endings. I don't know if they're true. They remind me of my brothers, though.
What can you tell me about Orina?
Orina was an alchemist in Orzammar. It's said she met Emeriden while dealing with a demon, but it's not known why Emeriden was there. Demons aren't common in the deep roads, but they were a problem for the Inquisition at the time. Orina knew she could help, so she joined Emeriden.
If she left Orzammar, that would make her a surfacer.
She turned her back on the stone, though it's said she had few regrets. Some claim she was actually from one of Orzammar's noble families, but who can say? She never used her last name on the surface, and once exiled, the family likely struck her name from personal documents. Professor Kenrick petitioned Orzammar's Shaperit to grant access to their records, but the request was turned down.
What will you do with this information?
Professor Kenrick will expect detailed notes on the location, stone and clay samples, and any trace artifacts I can find. If Emeriden's history is compiled, this could be worth an entire chapter. I might get credit on the inside cover.
Thank you, Colette.
Inquisitor.
May I help you, Inquisitor?
When I helped the Avar at Stone Bear Hold, We learned that the jaws of Hakkon once bound their god's soul to a beast. According to the spirit, the dragon Ameridan faced was powerful, and accompanied by hostile Avar.
You believe they could be one and the same? That would mean... Of course! Of course! Brilliant! 800 years ago, the Second Blight threatened a weak Orlais. A perfect time for the Avar to attack. This Avar God Dragon could have endangered the Olatian Empire had Ameridan not stopped it. That explains why he would accept such a dangerous mission. And likely how he died.
How bad would it be if the contemporary jaws of Hakkon bound their god to a dragon again?
With Orlais still recovering from the Civil War and the Mage Templar conflict, not to mention the scattered rifts and remnants of Corypheus's forces still causing trouble, a high dragon given malice and magic by an Avar god spirit could, hypothetically, destroy much of Orlais. At least, I hope that was hypothetically.
You're not concerned about the literal existence of an Avar god?
Not particularly. If the jaws of Hakkon once bound their god to a dragon, it is likely just a powerful spirit. That isn't to downplay the important cultural significance to the Avar, but magic does not equate godhood. Every blight comes from the old gods, which are also dragons corrupted by some outside influence. Sometimes I wonder if we really know what we mean by gods.
I'll speak with you later.
May I help you, Inquisitor?
What do you need me to do next, Professor?
That spirit on the island said something about Ameridan going upriver to, someplace with spires? While you search upriver, I'll continue studying these buckles. That, sounded better in my head.
I'll speak with you later.